Hello my lovelies. Right, I'm just showing you today a little nail prep video of me prepping my nails. So the first thing obviously I do is sanitize. I've filed down my previous design. I didn't soak it off, I just filed it down to a super thin layer. And then I'm going to be pushing the cuticle back and just removing any excess tissue that's on the nail plate because my nails have been without extensions for a few days now. They've got a bit dry, they've got a bit crusty, you know what I'm saying? Blech. So I'm using Ethel from Navy Pro, and there's something I want to point out. When you use Ethel, you don't need to apply a lot of force at all. It's a very effective tool. If you just rub it up and down the nail without pushing really hard, you don't need to push hard. It will do its job, don't fear. I know with other styles of cuticle pushers, maybe you need to really push and you get in that habit, but that's not good for the client anyway. With this, go gentle, just smooth it along the nail surface, it will do the work for you. You can still see that I come into contact with the nail plate, push back, it doesn't cut, it doesn't, cause any damage or anything like that. It's just easy flowing. A bit like me, nice and chill, Get the job done. Now the reason, for those who are new to nails, the reason we're doing this is because that tissue that sticks to the nail plate, if it's not all gone, when you apply your gel or acrylic, extensions or polish, it won't stick properly. It will go down initially, but then very quickly it will pop off or just start lifting terribly. And that's because that tissue is in between the nail and the product. So the product is not able to stick to the nail effectively. Using big words, probably in the wrong place. It's a Sunday, so bear with. So we need to get that all out of the way. That's the point of this step. And then, if you've got an e-file and you know what you're doing, I go in with an e-file with a cuticle bit from Nail Dot Supplies, and I just whiz it around the very edge there. And what it's doing is it's pushing away all that dust and debris, and it's also just etching underneath there, and any little dry bits that might be lingering, or for me, maybe a bit of excess product here and there because I haven't soaked off. It just gets in there. I turn it in one direction and do half, as you can see, and then I'll switch direction and go the other side, because you need to make sure that you're prepping the two sides equally, because it's very common, obviously, you're going to lead on your dominant side. It's very common to have one side not prepped as much, and you may find you get lifting. So if you get lifting, look at where it's coming from. Look if it's one particular side or is it one particular area, and it will give you a good indication as to what's causing it. More often than not, it is prep. So as you can see, I'm going back round again. I take quite a long time on prep. It's a vital part. You can make the most beautiful nails, but if they fall off, what's the point? And then after I've done this, I'm just going to brush my dust off so I can have a good look at these cuticles and see what needs nipping, if it needs nipping. You don't have to nip if it doesn't need nipping. Don't be fooled. I've got hangers there, that's what I call them, hangers. So you can see it. It needs to come away because it's going to look horrible and it's going to get in the way of me pushing that product up to the cuticle. So I'm using, these are the Helen nippers from Navy Professional. I used to have the cheaper nippers from like eBay, but I found that I would squeeze at the cuticle, oh my goodness me, let me get this back, not squeeze at the cuticle pusher. I would squeeze down when I'm trimming and it wouldn't cut, it would just pinch, and then I'd have to pull to rip off that skin, and that's not good. We don't want to be doing that. You want it nice and sharp so that when you nip, it removes it and it comes straight away, look, nice and easy. So if they're blunt, if you've got some and they're blunt, just get a new pair. even if you're not using Navy Pro and you're using anything else. Make sure they're always nice and sharp, because you don't want to be yanking at it. So as you can see, I'm taking my time here, just nipping any little bits. I tend to get little bits rather than a long bit. I normally get a long bit on my thumb, and then on the others it's like little pieces here and there. So I just go around and check them. Finally, you need to etch the surface of the nail. Now the whole point of this is to remove the shine. You're mattifying the nail. You're roughing up the surface slightly so that it's got a texture, so that there's something to stick to with the product. Because if you've just got a shiny, smooth surface, that product won't stick. So you don't need to apply a ton of pressure. Now, I have got acrylic on the nail in places there because I filed down. But the whole point is to etch that nail surface, remove the shine, mattify it naturally, and then the nail is ready, it's porous, and then you can dehydrate it, prime it, and apply your product. So after this step, all you need to do is remove all dust. Sometimes, if I've got a lot of dust down in the nail folds at the side there, I'll take my Ethel tool, turn her round and just scrape down a little bit to pick out any dust that gets right in that deep bit. Or you can use a dusty brush on your e-file. Or you can use, which I quite often like to use, a hard bristled nail brush and cover it in prep spray, and then really clean those nails, because then you're dehydrating and cleaning at the same time. That's how I prep. Everyone has their own way, but this is generally the way, you know. All tools I've used will be linked in the description box, as will the information, websites and all that stuff. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Tally bye!